Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to another video, probably the last video of this series of vlogs about organizing Inércia demo party. The demo party that I'm organizing again this year. Been organizing it for many years. We took some hiatus on some years. We've been back at it for the last three. Or four actually. 2019 we also organized it, but at Genio's place. And yeah, low number of organizers, just two main organizers, one person helping us set up, and then a couple helping hands doing some other stuff. So it's a lot of work. I've been focusing most of my evenings for the last 2-3 months on just this main project. And these videos are like a way for me to keep up to date with stuff that should be getting updated on the Trello that we use to somehow show us the status of things. So let's take a quick look at the Trello. Let's take a look at the Trello. Let's take a look at the trailer. It's pretty much empty. Update Twitch page, it's done, but it's also useless because of reasons that I will let you know a little while ago. Airport arrivals might be hard to do because of reasons that I will let you know a bit later on. OBS is still being under work. Cables and hardware setup is mostly figured out. The logistics of it anyways. I had a special meeting with Genio about that. The trophies, they're still being printed, but should be on time for Inércia. That's the main thing. So let's go over the list of stuff that I did and check if there's anything worth adding to the Trello, or if it's just worth deleting, or if there's anything worth discussing about the whole party at this point. And I know what you're thinking at this point. Why the hell does he have a flower on his head? There is a logical explanation for that I will share later in the video. It might or might not be a little of a clickbait for you to actually watch the video and not just skim through it. But let's go through the Inércia stuff first. So things that I've been doing this last week and a half. Ping Lord Cox's for help with the ZX demo compo. That brought very sad news that Lord Cox's was taken on emergency. Well, he had to go on work emergency to the other side of the world, literally. Timor-Leste is on the other side of the world. It is an old Portuguese colony. That's why Portugal has so many connections with Timor-Leste in that region. For those who don't know where Timor-Leste is, it's like between next to Indonesia and Philippines. There's like a small island there, and half of it is used to be Portuguese. The other half is from Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken. And there were some crimes in the past happened there, humanitarian crimes and crises, and we lived through that through our generation. And then they got their own independence and no longer part of the other state, but their own state called Timor-Leste, and Portuguese like helped them or supported them in that thing. Anyways. So Lord Cox had to go to Timor-Leste for job stuff, so he no longer can come and help me run the ZX Spectrum competition at Inércia, which is okay. Already found some backups. WBC from CAF Party Organizing is going to help me remotely in case there's some video recording needed to be done for Pentagon machines. If there is anything for 128K or 48K, I have the ZX Next Spectrum ready to play it. I also have a Mister, which also plays Spectrum stuff, even though it's FPGA. It's hardware on an FPGA level emulation, not pure emulation. I also have a Fuse emulator. I was testing all of these things. They should be listed here somewhere, so I'm going to skip them for now and talk a little bit more about them later. But I did ping him, so that was done. Filled out a bunch more paperwork about Associação Inércia. We needed to do the submission for the social security number. A lot of stress, last minute stress that Genio had to deal with, and I helped him do a little bit of that because the letter came to my address, which is the main address for Associação Inércia. Arveston spent a couple of evenings updating the Twitch image with some new images and text and that kind of stuff, which is going to be pretty much useless because we ended up being contacted by Scamp, or Genio had in his mind to contact Scamp, and I told him, yeah, sure, if you want to do it, just do it. Eventually contacted Scamp, and Scamp offered us a sponsorship to have better internet at our party location. And I will briefly explain what the party system is at this point. I will gesticulate. Let's have a wide view. So we have two possible internet things that we used last year. The main one is the internet from the party venue itself, which we just use for the party system, for the party streaming, so that we have no competition of traffic for it, and we ensure that it's good quality. Does it handle the upstream? Yes, last year we had 720p 60, handled it without any problem, no hiccups. We wanted to test it for 1080p 60 this year, should still be able to upload it. I believe the upload stream that they have there is 10 megabits, which is similar to what I have at home. Actually, at home I have slightly more, but anyways, should handle the thing. The main issue is that sometimes randomly the system is overloaded with traffic, like other people. It's peak hour around the end of the afternoon or early evening, and when that time happens, a lot of places, especially in downtown city areas, just start losing packets. The internet becomes slightly unreliable, which is usually fine for day-to-day use, like just checking your email or stuff like that. The internet's a little bit slower, but it still works. When you're trying to upload stuff, if you have a packet loss, well, one packet loss is fine, but several packet losses in a straight area, you will start seeing some stuttering, some buffering, some quality issues with that, which we really can have if we're doing a competitive live stream event or trying to make it look professional. So that's one problem with the main thing. And then we also had the visitors that came. That last year were only 15 people, so it was fine to use the... well, it wasn't fine because we put them on a specific 4G router that we hooked up. We paid like 15 euros or something for an account, and we told them, okay, don't use this to watch porn, just check for email or just check the chat. Anything that's low bandwidth, don't do any video streaming stuff out of that, and we should be fine. Should be enough for the 15 visitors that we have today. So I don't think a single 4G router would suffice for 50 people that we are expecting to have this year. So that was one issue that we had no real way of circumventing, besides recommending people to use their own 4G data if they want to have a proper internet access at the venue. So that was one of the main reasons that we decided to accept the sponsorship from Scamp and his company. I never know how to pronounce it. And they will ship us a router, 4G, 5G based router, which we can aim at local antennas. And since he has a small ISP and has deals with other ISPs in Portugal, we have priority shipping over the bandwidth that we have there, and that will help ensure the bandwidth that we require for the live stream. And at the same time, it will ensure that we have enough and quality bandwidth for the users that we have on the event, better than this local venue system and 4G router system that we were using last year, or so we hope. So he's going to ship us the thing. We're going to try to set it up, do some tests, probably Thursday evening. If that fails, we have to test them on a Friday morning. The worst thing that can happen is that we somehow have some connectivity issues. If it doesn't work out for some reason, we go back to the previous system of using the local system LAN and using the 4G and recommending people to do 4G data. So it's a nice upgrade quality of life. The downside, well, downside for us in our humble opinion, or my humble opinion, because I'm speaking for myself here, is that Scamp wants us to stream exclusively on Sin City. It doesn't mind that we record the stuff and upload it later to other platforms, but it needs to be exclusive to Sin City, because the whole reason they created Sin City was as an alternative to Twitch. So, you know, personally, I like Twitch for the sense that we can have random people walking into what we're doing. You know, it has the tags. People use Twitch all the time. They see that something is happening. Maybe we are lucky and end up on the front page of Twitch, and people can just drop by and ask what the hell is going on and be interested, be aware of the demo scene through that. If we are streaming on Sin City, assuming that the quality is as stable as the multiple levels of reliability that Twitch provides, which Scamp tells us that the system is no longer in alpha, beta, whatever he wants to call it, and it's now stable, and that it worked fine at Nordlicht and TRSAC and a few other parties, which I have some doubts because I actually saw the streams and it rebuffered quite a few times for me. But I'm assuming in good faith that that the system is indeed more reliable now. And if it's not reliable, we will switch to the previous system that we had, streaming to restream.io and to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time, and also add the RTMP link for Sin City itself. If it's not stable enough, if there is some sort of issue that Scamp cannot resolve, that's the backup plan. The main plan is to have exclusive stuff for Sin City, which he required from us, or he requested from us. Well, he requested in a way that it's a requirement. Otherwise, I'm not gonna sponsor this, which it's understandable. I mean, if he's investing on that, he wants some return on that. Anyways, I don't like it because of that. We lose the Twitch visibility that I was very much counting on bringing us some new sceners. And it loses the chat thing, because everyone used to go to the Twitch chat, and that was the fixed point. It worked very well last year. It worked very well 2 years ago. And this year, there's gonna be some sceners who do not want to go to Sin City chat because they're anti-scamp, or they don't want to chat there. They want to log in with Sin ID there, and they're gonna scatter. Half of them will be on Discord, some of them will be on Telegram, and even on Discord there are multiple Discords for the demo scene. Some will be on SynPT, some will be on my own personal Discord, some will be on Bomba's Discord, which is the one that's used for revision and stuff, which has the highest number of demo sceners. So we will now probably have the chat scattered into multiple places. I know Scamp's point is that he's trying to centralize it on Sin City, but in my humble opinion, this thing actually scatters it more than before. But you know, let's see how it goes. If it was just for me, I probably would have refused it and just used the stream. But I mostly accepted this deal for because I prefer visibility on Twitch. I think it has a more outreach. I'm not that strict anti-Bezos whatever thing. I don't like Amazon. I don't like Bezos cultural heritage, whatever you want to call it. But it does bring a lot of awareness to the demo scene. I think that's crucial to getting some new demo sceners involved. So if it was just that, I would have sticked with Twitch like I have done in 2020, like we did last year. But when it comes to providing reliable internet to the 50 attending visitors, I have to think of them as well, for them to have a good experience coming here to Inércia. And I also have to think that there might be issues that we would not have a hot link contact with local ISPs to fix. Like, we would not have priority streaming. If we have issues with 1080p 60 and frames starting to drop in the middle of the day, there's no one that we can contact and say, hey, can you improve the quality of life for us, please? And this way we do have someone to complain about or ask for help, which is Scamp, and he can, look at the system, see what's happening, change something, maybe send some emails or phone calls. I don't know what he does, but he does have access to give us higher priority bandwidth, quality of service for our upstream. So yeah. So that was one of the main issues that happened this week, and we're already on a video of 15 minutes long, so I probably should hurry with the rest. So yeah, this was done. I also sent the Beam slides to all the demo parties that happened on this last 4 weekends, while Zoo is happening now. Just make sure that Inércia is featured. There was this whole system of putting your website on a folder there was a lot of demo party organizers were there. It wasn't quite working on the last month and a half. We skipped a few demo parties that I thought would just be announcing Inércia for sure, and they didn't announce it because we didn't send them an email. So I made sure that all the organizers had our party slide this time. I tried a few more text-to-image things to prepare for the drone music visuals. I have something like 40 of them by now. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I have a lot of backgrounds, and I'm going to try to do a video. I haven't had time to test the video yet, but that's what I'm going to do. That's what I've been doing, just so I have original content for the drone music visuals. I know AI isn't 100% original. It's a derivative of someone else's work, but it's better than just taking images from someone and using them directly. Well, some people would argue that's pretty much the same, because AI work is also doesn't really ask permission, but at least transforms them in some shape or form. It's not just copy paste. Anyways, discussion for another time. I posted a 2-week warning on Twitter. I have to post a 1-week warning now. Pinged a couple more people for the Shader Showdown. Thought that might also happen a little bit more. We're reaching 29 people confirmed, which is a record. The previous one was 28. And we hope to reach 30. There are a few people who haven't responded back yet. I'm looking at Evil Broski. You haven't responded to any of my pings. Don't know if you're interested or you're too busy with work, but definitely would be cool to have you. I warned the ZX Spectrum person that the talk was 30 minutes earlier. No problem, it was just a formality. I drafted email to all the attendees, and this was like a 6-page email. It's the definition of what you should not do, because no one's gonna read that much. And I already had some confirmations that no one read it. But I wanted to condensate all the information that we've been posting on Twitter and on our website into a guide that if you're visiting Inércia, you can just read all of that. You are completely aware of all the status of all the things at Inércia at that point. So I did that as a welcoming thing, mainly to explain how the entrance worked and how low in organizing members we are, and how we need the help of the visitors to help us have a smoother party experience for everyone. No one replied to me offering their help for party experience, so I don't think they reached that far. And only about like a quarter of the people who received the email actually paid for the entrance fee. So I think they didn't even read point 1, and I wrote like 12 points. And no one came to tell me lol about the rules of conduct paragraphs that I took so long time to write and make sure that it was funny, so people kept reading the whole thing until the end and not get bored. So I know for a fact that not many people read the whole thing. Mostly don't even. Actually, one of them called me and asked me what's up with how do I pay. I don't know the exact money to pay. I haven't read the email. He told me that specifically, so he took time to call me to tell me that he didn't read the email. And yeah, so I explained him again why I already had posted on the website, on Twitter, and on the email. Anyways, that's what you get for dealing with people. They don't read. They just don't read. If it's longer than a paragraph, they won't read. You have to summarize it, and then they will ask more details. Posted an item on Bitvillas as well. Pink Bigaria Beer about the beer seminar. We have determined the number of beers. He already looked for stuff. He was looking for an alternative vendor, see if they would get a better package, but things seem pretty much already stable. Have to re-ping him again to make sure that he has everything, but should be fine, I hope. He also settled on a fee for his attendance, which is slightly higher than I was expecting, but he's a friend, so I guess it's fine. Test CSS on vote and live vote, so I had to do this because Harvest didn't know how to access these pages at all, so I had to check if these were okay. There were some bugs, I fixed them, should be fine. Lexel Awful finally replied to our email that we have sent like a month ago or something, and he replied in a very good way. He sent us some sponsorship licenses, which we will distribute among the winners of Inércia, regardless if you're physically present or not. And he also did a 512 byte intro in Pico 8, and he posted about it, and he posted the source code. So doing a shout out to the entire Pico 8 community to participate at the Fantasy Console competition that we're having at Inércia. So great response. Took a while, but the best response possible, imaginable. Thank you so much, Lexel Awful, for your support. Followed up on the beer seminar again. Genio purchased the sum up machine, which just arrived a couple of days. Genio also finished the Association Sound Inércia registration forms and mails, which was important for me to send out the email telling people how to pay. Because to pay for Inércia, you need to register at the Association Inércia. We want to get people to be a part of the movement of organizing the whole thing. So yeah, I sent that mail right afterwards. Then we had this meeting with Scamp that I told you about earlier in the stream. I helped also Harvest fix the Woohoo CSS some issues with the slides. He was trying to change the background of the slide, but Garguy has this thing where he recalculates the top to make sure that it's in the middle of the thing without having attention that people might want to put some CSS on the background, or expecting that people will use the CSS that says slide backgrounds to do that instead of actually putting it on the stuff that will move. So anyways, that was sorted as well. We looked into a matrix HDMI solution to minimize the points of failure that we might have on our system and maximize the number of inputs that we will have for the Atom Mini. So I spent a couple evenings with Genio rechecking the whole setup of the cable, seeing what we have missing, and finding something that we could get that was affordable and fixed our solution, our problem for this year's demo party. That was done. Confirmed participants for the new roundtable concept. That's something that just been recently announced, and I will talk a little bit more about that in a little while. I ordered a few more supplies. They just arrived. It's that box right there on the bottom. Those are the supplies. Discussed with Genio the updated setup logistics, part of the other thing that we were looking. Announcement slide, no background. It's part of the fixes that I did. We shopped for the HDMI matrix. We were looking for more HD base T stuff as well, which are not very easy to find in Portugal at all. We do have 3 combos already. We needed 1 more. Did we figure out the way to I think the location where we are renting the projector also rents one of those, so we will get one of those from there, if I'm not mistaken. We need 4 total. Alien has 2, Psychon is bringing 1, and we needed another one to make sure that HD base is like a protocol. HD base T is a protocol of HDMI over Ethernet, or Cat6, whatever you want to call those cables. So if you have something bigger than 5 meters, 10 meters, HDMI starts to lose signal. Either you use some repetitors, or you have this other kind of solutions where you can send them over Ethernet. And HD base T is one of the more reliable ones. It's a little bit more expensive than just the regular HDMI over Ethernet, but it's more reliable and it goes longer distances. Yeah, we were trying to use that. There are some HDMI matrix things that had native HD base, which we were also considering maybe getting, but we won't do it this year because we might. Since this year everything was lent in terms of HD base T. Maybe next year we'll just go NDI instead, and then the HD base T would be pretty much useless. So we have to future-proof this thing. So next year we will get something more reliable, for sure, like of our own, instead of relying on renting and people bringing theirs for use. We also retested I had to retest the ZX Next. I already talked about that. It's already packed there, ready to take. I also tested the Mister. I updated all the latest firmwares on both of them, the Mister and the HD base T. The Mister has some issues with the timings on the Pentagon. When I do that, it loses sync on the monitor. I'm hoping the scaler that Reality is bringing will fix that. But I have to test. But regardless of that, I can run Pentagon stuff on Fuse, so it should be fine. It's just would be nicer to play on hardware, even though FPGA is emulating the hardware. Anyways, this is done. Another round to ping 3D people. I kind of gave up on this. I pinged again on Twitter. I haven't gone to all the different communities and pinged people directly like I wanted to do it. I just don't have time for that. It feels a bit silly of me to be spending so many evenings of my time pinging something just to prove a point to someone who was too lazy to do that. I do hope we will still have enough participants. At least all the demo scene people should be participating, or the demo scene people who usually participate on the 3D compo should be participating. They told me as much, at least. Let's see if they actually submit stuff or not. And I did do a few rounds, more than all the other demo scene parties I've ever done on social media, trying to reach the 3D modeling community. So I hope that will bring someone, but I really don't know. We will see the submissions on the deadline. We will see how many entries we have. Ping 512 byte people. I also didn't do the personal rounds. I did another round on the size coding channel itself, and Lexaloffle already did the general social media thing for Pico 8, so I think we are okay-ish. Let's see how many entries we get. Hope more than last year. Let's see. I double-checked any banners. Oh yeah, I went through the Google Drive again and see if there were any new banners for upcoming parties or demo scene stuff that is missing. I added a few. I had to find a few others. Meanwhile, the stuff arrived. The safe for the money, which is also packaged there. We have a cable tester in there. Sumup also arrived, so it's ready to send. If you don't know what a sum up is, it's sort of like a bank machine or ATM machine that you can have at the party place, and you can transfer remotely or do remote payments using that with all the cards that exist, credit cards or debit cards. So it's like a transportable ATM machine, which is useful because the closest ATM machine we have at the party place is like 500 meters away, something like that, 650. And it's at the supermarket that we're not sure if it's open at all times. It's probably closed when the supermarket itself is closed. So it wasn't easy to just get money at the party place. So this is more convenient for people who are used to just use cards. Change the seminar into another concept, the past and future of the demo scene. That's what we're going to do. So I know what you're thinking. Why the hell does he still have the thing in his forehead? We'll get to that. But before we get to that, the seminar talk. So we're planning to do a roundtable with demo scene veterans from the Portuguese demo scene. I had 3 in mind, in particular, Fauzi, Kazuya, and Cremax. All of them were very active in 2002, and I was trying to bring all 3 of them to the party place and have them explain how the demo scene helped their real life things and how they are still somehow connected with the demo scene, despite having moved on during some things. Some of them were only marginally connected to the demo scene. They were more active at the game dev scene, which in Portugal was kind of bridging for several reasons. And the highlight of that was Games 2006, which did not end well for either the game dev scene and the Portuguese demo scene. It ended up with Inércia organization being dismantled, the previous one. But we still keep in touch with some of the game dev people that were active in the demo scene back then, and some of the ones that are active now. Anyways, the point is, Fozzy is coming. He's bringing some more game dev people with him. Creamax wanted to come, but then he says that he can't make it. Kazuya went to THU, so he can't afford points with his family to go out of home again. So he's probably not coming. So I had one person left from the three that I was expecting. On the other hand, I realized that we have Shayna coming, which she's behind. She's the current producer of Zine Podcast. She's also involved with revision organizing. She's also involved with Mountain Bites organizing. And Mountain Bites has a very similar cultural thing to Portugal in the sense that we don't have many active seniors, and she has to sort of remake the entire demo scene or bring it back to activity. Try to get activities like workshops and stuff to bring new talent in, bring more awareness to the demo scene. So she's very much in touch with the outreach that you need to do to keep the demo scene alive and keep it active. And at the same time, Waffle from Finland was coming, and he was very active in a lot of different demo party organizations. And when I was asking him about if he wanted to talk at Inércia, he says, "Oh, but my wife is coming, me, and my wife is actually in charge of the outreach thing that they do for the old school area at Assembly organizing." And Assembly is has notoriously been doing a very good job of doing outreach at different levels for many years now, for decades now. They had demo parties first time on national televisions, and they do a lot of different things to keep the old schoolers active in the demo scene, so they're not like lost among the gamers, and to keep new talent in. They do competitions for newcomers specifically. They have a lot of interesting activities in Finland that really... they noticed that there was a lack of awareness of the demo scene starting to creep in, that they needed new blood, and they took active steps in organizing stuff to counter that. And it just happened naturally because it made sense, but other countries in Europe and the world are not really following that so strictly. They still keep the demo scene a bit more underground, while demo scene in Finland is a lot more mainstream. So I thought it would be really cool to have these two people, maybe a couple other participants that also organize demo scene events that are attending Inércia. We have Reality 404, who is in charge of Field Effects organizing, or part of Field Effects. I'm not sure if he's the main organizer or if Aldroid is, but one of them is, and Reality 404 is coming. And Super Rogue from Love Bite Organizing is also coming. They might be on stage, they might be on the audience. We're going to try to get a dialogue. And my main takeaway from this is that I want the people who are there, the Portuguese people there, to become aware that they need to be a part of the organizing team to help us do things. So it's no longer just me and Genio driving the thing, but getting everyone else involved and putting it more into their heads that they can do things that don't take that much time and still have an enormous effect and help a lot in ways that me and Genio do not have the time to do it, or not have the patience to do it anymore. And they could take over small things that could really benefit the entire demo scene in Portugal. And also we're going to talk a little bit about bringing newcomers, how welcoming the demo scene is, what we can do to lower the bar of entry so people are not afraid to compete, which is a lot of the things that sometimes happen. People see the demo scene and like, okay, this is a bunch of niche thing that I never knew even existed. They're doing their own thing. I'm just an outsider looking in. They're all geniuses. I can't participate. They will think that all I do is crap. And a lot of people have that fear in them, which was very much underlined on latest design podcast that Shayna helped produce. There's like this mental thing stopping us from doing. At the same time, we are interested because it's like we want to show what we can do with the computers that we used to love. But at the same time, we are afraid to do it because we are afraid of being ridiculed or something like that. So there are things that we could do to lower that barrier of entry, have newcomer competitions, maybe don't have competitions at all, just have showcases or sessions where we can just be together to give feedback to each other on the latest work that we've been doing. You know, it sounds like kumbaya speak, I know, but we can find a middle term here. You don't have to be hardcore competition, best thing in the world only. You know, we can try to have some competitions and some stuff that's not about competitions. It's more about the social aspect of the thing, keeping the demo scene rolling, keeping people interested in it, keeping people motivated to do things. It's not just 2 weekends on a year that you burn out trying to do this amazing demo scene entry, and then you don't even follow the demo scene anymore because you're too tired of that, and you don't want to be investing your time into thinking about that. So yeah, I think this talk is important to have. It's important to be recorded so it can be shared with other people, with other party organizers, with other people in the demo scene and outside the demo scene, and try to activate some dynamic that will push the demo scene forward into better outreach and better current organizing. Anyways, that's the roundtable that we're going to do instead of the other one. Already confirmed Shayna and Mu presences, and we might have some other people on stage to also talk about that for an hour. I announced that and update the website with changes about the new sponsor that just came out. Scamps company, Nurture, that I never can pronounce because it's a German word that I have no clue how it's written. And Fabamak, which is the company that Anticore is working on, that also just sponsored us for some money, which will go to the prizes. We still have a lot of money that was sponsored that we didn't use for any organizing stuff. I'm considering, actually I have to discuss this with Genio and Alien. We actually should probably allocate some of that money to shipping the trophies, the physical trophies that Jaya spent so much time working on and still printing them and painting them and polishing them. We have so many of them for all the categories. Maybe we should ship them to people, like even if it's internationally, and allocate some money for that. Because I think it's a nice thing to have, even if you're not getting money out of the competition, because remote participation does not get you the money. Only physical participation gets you the money for that prize. At least you will still have the trophy. And for us, the trophy is already done, so we will be on a basement somewhere, or we will have to take it with us to revisions, hoping that someone will also be at revision that will go and take it to the other person. And it might not be that expensive to just ship it, have a card box, custom made it decently so it doesn't get mangled up, and just ship it. Maybe 5 euros, 10 euros, I don't know the shipping cost to send it to the other side of the world, but might be worth more than just sitting here. So that's what I've been doing. It's already 37 minutes. Okay, so before I go to the last part, the thing on my head, it's not just a clickbait. So last night we went eat outside with my kid and my wife, and we were waiting for the hamburgers to come, and my kid was getting restless because that's what he did. So we were starting to play around with this coloring book, and then we found that the coloring book had it's not stamps. What's this called? Stickers. They had stickers. So I told him to pick a sticker, and I put the sticker on his forehead, and then he picked another one. I put the sticker on my forehead, and my wife got off on not having a sticker on her forehead because meanwhile the food came. So we were left with stickers for the rest of the evening, and I didn't care what the people passing by said. And then I went to bed and completely forgot about the sticker. Today when I woke up, I realized I still have the sticker. My son wrestled around in the bed. He no longer has his sticker, but I still do, and I'm very proud of my sticker, and I wanted to have it. And also it makes a nice clickbait for the video itself, which hopefully you have seen to this point. So things still left doing, and stuff that I could really use our help for Inércia organizing. So there's 1 week left. We will be very busy setting up all the stuff and stressing with all the last minute stuff that we need to do. Still have to announce the VIPRENet sponsorship. VIPRENet is the nurture thing, which also includes VIPRENet ISP and includes the Sin City exclusivity thing. So I just call it VIPRENet because it's more reliable name in my head than calling it the nursery. So I have to post about that. I have to post about the Fabamac that just dropped today. I have to update the Poet thread, which hasn't been updated in a while, talking about all the news. Posting about different compos. This is not going to be done. I already posted too much. RetroShop stopped replying. They replied the first time, said that they loved the demo scene, that they were willing to send us machines if we needed something. And then I asked them, okay, but are you interested in being present or sponsoring something? And silence. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if I should be following up with that. I think I'm just not going to. I don't want to be pushy. I don't know. Anyways, if anyone knows anyone at RetroShop PT, ask them what's up with that, if they're coming, if they're sponsoring, what's up about that. And then we have to estimate a little bit about the prize pool that we will have available for the party. We didn't spend that much money as we were expecting, so we will have quite a large prize pool. The other alternative is that we save some of this sponsored money for next year's event, or maybe even having two events next year. We definitely need to also try to get a place of our own, and this money sponsored for the event could also go into that, into renting an actual place if the rent is affordable in the long run. Have to talk about that with Genio. We're too busy with the organizing to figure out, but at some point we will talk about how much money goes for the prizes, and I will pitch this idea. But I should post about it. It should be at least 1,000 euros distributed among all the competitions. Maybe a bit more, maybe 1,500. We have to do the math on the expenses, make sure that they are covered for sure. Set some aside for these contingency things for next year, and the rest is to give away. And even giving away for all the competitions, there will be some leftover for sure, because we distribute among all the competitions, and then imagine compo number 1, the first person wins, but the second and third person are remote submissions. So the remote submissions don't get any money. So we have to take the decision, either we bump the first place with extra money, which is fine if it's just the first place there, and the other ones don't get any money at all, or we just stick with the original money that we divided, and then we have leftover money for next year's competitions, or for interim competitions. I was thinking maybe to just organize some live stream stuff just from either my house or Genio's house, with some actually competitions, but specific ones, and just have like a weekend of that, like in that weekend time, or even testing some other competition modes. Anyways, we can use the money for other demo scene activities. It's part of Associação Inércia. We have to use it within the year because we are a non-profit, so all the money that comes in needs to be used by the end of next year. So there's no problem about that. It won't be used for anything horrible like smoking coke and hookers. I was thinking about the prize pool. So the other thing about the prize pool is that if the first person is remote, and then we have 2 second and third place, we can also bump them. But does it make sense that then we end up giving a lot of money to a person that just got third place, just because the first and second place were not there? We should be fair to the other competitions as well. So there's some thinking about that we will need to do, and we will divide this manually, taking a look at the results themselves on Saturday night. We might be too drunk to do it properly, but we will try to do it fairly. And yeah, so even out of the announced prize pool, I think there will always be some money that will be left over, not given away for all the compos. So we'll see how that goes. Stuff still left to do. And you can also, this is the part where you can help me with, or maybe help me. The main thing that I need help with right now is doing the rounds with everyone and saying, okay, Inércia is happening in 1 week. Do you have any entries for the compo? This is the compo that I'm doing something for. Are you up for it? Can you submit something as well? This is the main thing that I can't do at this point in time. Go over 16 compos and ask everyone if they're participating on my contacts list. I can't do that anymore. I already spammed the social media, already talked with people, I already put some people in charge of championing the compos for them to do those rounds. Some people are helping doing those rounds, like Super Org has been helping a lot with that. Totet Matt has been helping a lot with that on the Shader Royale front as well. But we need more people. You know, if you're thinking of participating at Inércia, please poke your friends and non-friends, but that, you know, do something on that category to also submit something to make sure that we have a good compo for that at Inércia. I'm talking old school graphics, I'm talking tracked music, you know, anything that can be done, text art stuff, anything that can be done within a week period. Please talk with your friends about it and let them know so we can have a cool party. So this is what I need help the most at this point in time. So if there's any takeaway from this video whatsoever, it's this. Please help me with this. Stuff that I still have to do. Prepare a page to post on the front page explaining the whole self-service thing. We also talked about having a card system, which I also had to figure out. Card tab system. So yeah, this is just doing a write-up, printing a page, sticking it on the front page, explaining to the people who are attending Inércia how the front door page management is doing, so that they can help with the system and not the organizers having to do it. Prepare a physical form for people to become associates on the spot. We need to do that because most people will not have done it before. They will want to do it at the spot, so we'll need some forms for them to fill out, or have internet and tell them to fill out from the internet. VJ visuals for drone music. I've been accumulating the images. I need to do some tests to make sure that it's working okay. And then when the compo closes, which should be on the 2nd of November, I will just edit the whole thing, listen to the whole thing a couple of times, see if it matches both the transitions in terms of sound and the visuals for each track. So that's my job for Wednesday and Thursday. Confirm with Gino and Harvest that they are working on an OBS image for the party. I don't think they have been touching this at all, so I do definitely need to do this. Recheck Shader Royale list 1 week before the event. I need to ping everyone, reminding them of the hours. This will be done soon. Replace the beam slide of Zine. I already did this, so I can just delete this. Get a slide about the system Inércia, asking people to become... Yeah, this is important, and I need to either ask Harvest or Genio to figure this out. Prepare beam slide with schedule. I figured out how to do this. I've figured out a very stupid bug with Woohoo, which I will show you right now. Well, it's not a bug, it was just me not knowing how to use it. So if you go to Woohoo, there's this thing called Slide Editor, and you can do your own slide, right? It says here, all text will be treated as HTML, that's fine. So you do like, oh, I can do like a couple of paragraphs of things, and this is very interesting. And then you select the file name for this. So I say announcement 2. And this was the thing. When I clicked the save file, I assumed that it was rendering this to a JPEG file, like our PNG file, like every other image is a PNG file that you upload. But it's actually supposed to be an HTML file, and I didn't realize that. So you need to put .html here. If you don't put the .html, these two are .html. You can see the file there, and if you edit it, you can see the thing here. You can even change the stuff. And if you don't do HTML, You just save it. It becomes this, blank. And I always thought this was a bug in Woohoo for like 2-3 years that I've used Woohoo. I always thought, their announcement system isn't working. It must have broken at some point. Maybe it's my server configuration. Maybe they're trying to render the JPEG to the thing and they don't have permissions or something like that. Then I always thought it was just broken. And a couple days ago I realized, no, it's me. I haven't put the .html on it. So yeah, I'm stupid. But it is a usability thing. I posted it on the GitHub thing for oh, I just realized that I haven't been showing this on screen, which is bad. I haven't been showing this at all on screen, the whole thing that I've been talking about. Oh my god. I will have to re-record this whole video, won't I? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. It was at this point that he realized that he fucked up. 50 minutes in, after 1 hour of speaking. I think I'm just gonna post the video as it is, right? Anyways, I'm gonna repeat this part. This is the Woohoo editor, but I think all the previous... the previous things that I was talking about, they kind of had visual things, like I was deleting the lines as I talked about them. They still might be understood though. I have to double check the video. But anyways, if I don't want to delete the video, this is what I need to do for this part at least. So what I was talking about, the Woohoo bug, is here on the slide editor. You can create a new slide here and you can include HTML on it. And I didn't know that you needed to put blah 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 .html here. I thought you could just have the file name like this and you would save it and it would work, but it's blank because you don't have the extension on it. So this is the bug report that I submitted, or the enhancement quality of life thing, that it should be either by default being added .html or more explicitly listed here that, you know, file name name your file .html. It does say here on top, but I don't know. Anyways, delete this. So yeah, back to the thing that you haven't been seeing. I need to prepare a beam slide with logos of sponsors. I need to ping all the sponsors again for the beam slide. If they want their own slide, they need to send it to me. Most people haven't bothered when I asked them before. I need to do it again. And then I need to prepare the pen drive with all the stuff. And I need to prepare all things to ship, to take with us to Party Place, preferably after the pen drive. So yeah. So these are the things that I need and that I've been doing and that are still left to be done on this week, mostly. And then we have logistics of the Party Place assemblage as well. We're going there on Thursday night, and Gino has a very packed day on Thursday. He's the only person who has a car and a license to drive a car in the organization. So it's going to be complicated but doable. Maybe take things in the morning and he will do his things during the afternoon that he's busy. Then at night we will be there, meet there, and assemble everything there. So he needs to confirm some stuff, but he's in charge of the build-up of the location, so he should have that under control. If it doesn't work for Thursday, we will wake up early on Friday, get the rest of the things set up. Compo machine will arrive sometime before noon. We'll also test that, install everything on the compo machine that's left to install, handle all the door, because the doors will open around 2 or something, handle all the visitors, all that stuff, and test everything for the compos. There are not that many compos on the first day. That's the good thing. We have time to tweak all the party system things that we need to tweak. It's mostly seminars, which is fine. But I still have to double check everything on the compo machine. Anyways, this is the plan. Probably the last video that I'm going to record about Inércia, the last vlog type of video. Hope you come to the demo party. Hope you can watch it remotely if you can't. 2022.inertia.pt. Check it out. Anyways, that's it for me. Have to go pick up the kid. See you next time. Bye bye, everyone. Take care.